and really, like, failure is not an option. And he said, there are no jobs here. And I said, but I'm coming. There's millions of dollars I'm managing. We were fact checking. It wasn't just, 2 primary sources. It was 5 primary sources. I mean, it was weird, right? I was all of a sudden, we had to get a space, and I'm sitting there with my name on the the lobby, and there's 5,000 square feet. I'm in the biggest office. That
Wow.
that was crazy. Getting the crews. You've got multiple crews out at
Right.
different locations.
Right.
So managing the constant influx of problems from each city, right? This guy didn't show up. He's sick. Managing people was really challenging for me.
Right.
But that's television.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's running. And
Right.
you're competing, right? You're competing at a level, and you have to have your game face on.
Welcome to The Intersection by Oak Leyden. I am your host, RJ McMahon. I have the honor and privilege of serving as CEO of this wonderful organization, Oak Leyden. And today, very excited to welcome one of our new board members, Michael Weber, and we'll get into Michael's journey and story. And frankly, she's a rock star. So I'm really fired up about this, and a little on my heels. So we'll see how that all plays out. But before we get rolling, just a huge thank you for those folks that are liking and commenting on our posts on LinkedIn, subscribing to our YouTube. Please, if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe today. Really interesting content. We've been blessed with some phenomenal guests. And top of the list will be Michael Weber, guaranteed. So very excited to jump in and welcome Michael.
Thank you. That's a rock star introduction. I'm intimidated. I'm usually behind the scenes.
I know.
So
We're getting you back in front of the camera.
Yeah,
it's been a minute since you've been in front of the camera, right?
It's been a minute.
So we'll dive into that and again, as I was just kind of reviewing and checking out your LinkedIn and looking at, your website and it just really brought me to this point of, wow, you're getting some stuff done, right? This is pretty interesting, right? So I want to dive into some of that, but really just really grateful for you for coming on the show. Really just fortunate to have you kind of in our orbit. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been amazing.
It's really, really lovely. And we'll dive into a lot in our conversation today, but just want to kind of start out with kind of the softball of, it's not really a softball because you're a runner, but you were a Division I athlete, right?
I was.
Go blue,
yes,
right?
Go blue.
So talk about kind of how that journey to get there, right? I mean, I can't imagine the work to get there, then the work to stay doing that, and how is that kind of shaped where you are and kind of how you're continuing to do all of this phenomenal work? Because I think you have more hours in the week than I do.
I really don't. But that's a hard question. So yes, I was a 400-meter hurdler at University of Michigan. It seems like 5 lives ago that I did that. I was also on the 4x400 team.
Really?
We won a few Big Ten championships.
Wow.
So it was, and we were there with Tom Brady and
Yeah,
Charles
it was a pretty good time to be on campus in Ann Arbor, right?
To be an athlete at Michigan, let me tell you.
Hey, stop the presses. RJ McMahon here, CEO of Oak Leyden. I'm here with
Michael Weber, and we're here to tell you about the Mighty Oak. It's our annual fundraising event, and it's our 70th anniversary.
Please join us. We've got America's greatest cover band from the 80s and 90s, 16 Candles.
We'll have live auction, silent auction, raffle, and tons of prizes.
You need to be here. Join us. Come on out. Riverside Golf Club, April 23rd.
Check out our website to buy tickets.
Right here. So good.
So, yeah, I mean, I ran in high school. I was good. I wasn't amazing. Went to state, ran some really good times, and I ended up getting recruited by Michigan. They thought I had some potential. I went to a very small private high school downtown. We did not even have a track.
Interesting.
So I was running times on concrete, and I was hurdling on concrete. And so the coaches...
We're actually hurdling hurdles, or we're hurdling like...
There were actual hurdles. I think by the time I was a senior, we had hurdles. But yes, so
But you're hurdling the horses
I'm
before
just
that,
hurdling.
right?
I'm hurdling park benches. I'm hurdling whatever I can. And so I think the coaches,
Great training ground, right?
Yeah, right. I was jumping.
Exactly.
All right, I could do it. I was
While
fast
you were
and I
running.
was jumping.
There you go. Exactly.
So, I think the coaches saw some potential there. So they recruited me. I went, and I really benefited from that kind of level of coaching. And I
So
took off
great.
in college.
Isn't that awesome?
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Right?
It's a job.
Absolutely.
it's a
Well,
job.
that's what I hear. I shouldn't say absolutely. I am not a D1 athlete, folks, and you've probably figured that out already. And
should
so
try
have you.
it.
Right? I think I still have eligibility, right?
I think just if I can do it, you can do it. Seriously. Yeah, it's a job. You go to class in the morning. I was up by 7, in class by 8, and then on the track at 2. And I
Wow.
was on the track and working out until 6.
Wow.
And that was every day, including the weekends.
Right.
And then you have to get your schoolwork done.
Oh, yeah. By the way,
By
it's
the way,
a
there's
rigorous
this other thing.
education, right?
And you end up doing really well in school, not because you're smart. You have nothing. I mean, the coaches and everything, you have to get it done, right? It's not that I was any smarter.
Everything's so locked
It was
in,
like
right?
I was scared.
You've got 2 hours. You
was
have to do your work now,
So
right?
You have to do it.
That's funny.
So, yeah, I mean, I really think it instilled a level of hard work, right? I failed a lot, too. I lost a lot of races.
But you got up and you ran again.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
right. So it teaches you a lot of resilience. It teaches you to, keep going, to keep doing your best. So I'm really grateful for that.
That's so
I'm really
great,
grateful
right?
for that.
And remind me, for track and field, it's two seasons, right? So it's
It
indoor
is.
and outdoor,
It's
right?
indoor and outdoor.
So-
Indoor, I ran the 600, and
Okay.
then so there were no hurdles
Right,
except
right.
the short hurdles
Yeah.
indoor. So I ran the 600, and I think I was on the 4x4 indoor. No, I was. God,
Okay.
it's a long time ago. No, I was. And then we went to outdoor. So it's full year.
Right. Oh,
and
yeah,
then you
yeah.
can't just not work out during the summer.
Right. Summer and then. So when does the winter season start? Because you're technically not yet in
Sure.
season in the fall, but you're
Right.
still clearly
We
working.
start in November.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm running all year.
Well,
I'm
you have
running
to
all
be.
year. I'm
You
running
have
all
to be.
year.
You can't
Yeah.
just kind of flip a switch
It
and
just
be like,
sucks
okay,
to have to
right.
get back in shape. You might as well just stay there.
Right. Exactly. While that may be rough, it's a whole lot rougher to get in shape, right? Just
Totally.
stay in shape, right?
Totally. Just
Yeah.
stay there.
Right.
So it was awesome. I mean, it was awesome.
That's
Looking back
so
on
great.
it, you don't realize it when you're doing it.
I'm
It's,
sure.
you know,
Where were there points in time where you're like, wow, this is pretty awesome,
Yeah.
right? Like just a little bit of
Sure.
that out of body, like, wow,
Yes.
this is pretty cool.
when you're flying in to the Penn Relays, or you're out
Wow.
at UCLA, or you're at these huge, I mean,
Wow.
even, at the Big Championships
Right,
where we
right.
won, and they're
Right.
putting a ring on my finger. It's
Wow.
It's crazy.
Got to be a little surreal.
It is real
right?
surreal, but you're just also you're in it, so
Right.
you're kind of like, oh, we did well.
We did well,
But
right.
then you graduate
because you're
and
with your
like, oh my
teammates,
God.
and right, yeah.
You're like, oh, we did a really good job. But then you look back on it at my age, and I'm like, who was that person? Like, how
did she do
how
that?
did that happen? How did my team do that? So
So interesting.
it's cool. It
So
was cool.
shine a light a little bit on the relay. I'm fascinated because I can't like when I watch the Olympics or any Penn relays or whatever, right? If I'm scrolling, on ESPN, probably coming up, right? Penn
Yep,
relays.
It's almost.
And I'm always amazed, right? I get people are fast, and if you're running the 100 or you're doing hurdles, you're on your own. But when you're running the 4x4,
4x4. Yeah, you can't let them down.
right? Exactly.
You have
so
to go.
right, exactly. Right, but you can't go too early. Right. So
Yeah,
talk a little bit about that
sure,
mentality.
sure.
And where were you?
Yeah,
Were you leading off? Were you
I
on
was
the anchor?
usually number 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't fast enough to anchor it, and I wasn't fast enough to start it, but I was fast enough to maintain
keep it. Exactly, right.
Which is a good place to be.
That's a really good place to be. Good life lesson, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you're training, and we trained as a quad, so we learned each other's timings.
Right,
we
right.
knew how many steps we were taking. I mean, before you get that baton, you're measuring it out when you're starting,
Right.
and you just have a rhythm to it. But yeah, just reaching back and grabbing a baton blind. You got to have a lot. It's a trust thing,
Total trust.
Yeah,
It's a trust
cool.
game,
It
right?
is. It is. I've never dropped it. That's amazing.
That is a
Yeah.
Seriously,
No, I don't think any of us did.
Really?
Yeah, it's good coaching. It's good
I mean, great coaching, but phenomenal execution.
I don't know how. Again, I don't know that person. Yeah. Like, she left.
Can we go
She
back?
left.
She's gone. Elvis has left the building, right?
But Yeah, it was amazing.
That's
it was
so
amazing.
great.
It was amazing.
So how did that kind of set the course?
Sure.
For lack of a better term. Sorry for the.
No, totally. I mean, I think it was subconscious, right? I don't think that I left college thinking I have to perform, right?
Right.
It was just you get so used to, doing so many things in a day and being expected to give your best.
Right.
Right? So I always knew in
Failure's
college,
not an option,
it's
right?
not right. You have to at least try
Absolutely.
really hard.
Right. Exactly.
You have to try.
You got to work at this.
You have to try, and it's not going to come easy, right? So I knew in college that I wanted to be in journalism or television or something in that realm.
Interesting.
And I always did internships at TV stations during the summers. I was involved in the campus TV and radio organization.
Nice,
I didn't know
nice.
maybe I wanted to do radio.
Right.
And so when I graduated, I called up the news director. I can't believe I did this. Again, I don't know who this person is. I called up the news director in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I said, I want a job. And he said, there are no jobs here. And I said, but I'm coming. Like, I need to do this. And he said, there's an internship available for you. It's on the morning show. You have to be at work at 2:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And research for the morning program starts at 3 a.m. So here I am thinking I'm going to Hawaii.
Right.
And it's just going to be the ocean and the beach, and I'm going to just chill out and enjoy all the rewards of graduating.
Right.
No. It was horrible. It was.
You're essentially in Schaumburg, right?
Yes.
Like you're not in Honolulu.
No, it didn't matter where I was. And I remember my mom came with me, and she was so excited. She's like, "Oh my God, it's going to be great!
Right.
We're going to go." She was just there for 2 weeks, helping me just get settled.
Right, sure.
Just like I love Hawaii. She was so bored. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. So it was not what I thought.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the station was amazing. The people I worked with was great. So I started as an intern, and I was just doing everything from coffee to handing people scripts to looking at old beta tapes for archive footage. I mean, just anything that I could do.
Were you writing also?
I was writing and submitting and getting major edits. It was
But
good.
what a great process.
Sure.
What a learning process, right?
And Honolulu is the number 81 market. So it's small.
Right.
You're still getting for a big city, you're still getting a lot of time
Right.
to hone your skills.
And a lot of touches, right?
Yeah,
That's so great.
Totally. And they were great to me. And then I was hired as a associate producer.
Okay.
Soon thereafter. I think someone left.
Interesting.
Not because I was good. I think there was the space.
You were good.
And so I worked my way up as an associate producer. And then one day there was a hamburger eating contest. And the reporter who was supposed to cover it was sick. He was actually hungover. I'm not saying
Was that reporter Jim Carrey? No. I feel like I'm hearing a movie. Right?
He could not come to work.
Bruce
that
Almighty?
day.
Is that who?
Totally. He couldn't make it. So I was sent across the street to cover the hamburger eating contest. I'm a vegetarian, by the way.
Even funnier.
But I loved it. It was so fun. I liked doing
Was this your first
This is the first time
in
I've
front of
ever
a
been
camera?
on camera. Ever
First
been on
time.
camera. Right. No clue what I was doing. Just kind of went with it. But it was a hamburger eating
Right.
contest. So I wasn't,
exactly.
covering breaking news.
Right.
So it turned out okay. And they let me do a couple more, special feature stuff.
Nice.
Beauty pageants, bikini contests, surf competitions.
Nice.
And then
So you got to experience Hawaii then, right?
And then I was finally in. I was like, I know these hours are terrible, but at least I'm like out and I'm seeing stuff that's
I see the
local.
light of day.
Dude, there's sunlight. So I did that, and then they let me do the weather. I had my degree is in journalism and film,
Okay.
but I actually was one course away from having a Bachelor of Science.
Really?
And I took a ton of meteorology classes. Yes.
Just because.
Just because I liked it, and geology, and I don't so weird. I just really like science.
Right.
And so I had enough to,
Be dangerous.
P.S. The weather in Hawaii is always the same. It's 85 and sunny.
Right, exactly. They don't have 4 seasons, right?
I'm not, doing anything
Right.
rocket science here. So usually the weather slates were the same, right? It was between 80 and 85 and sunny. Occasionally we had some clouds. Occasionally it rained. And the big thing became the surf report. What were the swells doing on the South and the North Shore?
Nice.
Right? So that became kind of cool. And I did the surf report. I also covered sumo wrestling. I didn't know this was a thing, but
Wow.
we're so close to Japan
Right.
that we were doing the sumo feeds. So I was covering that too. So
Hilarious.
I know a lot about sumo wrestling.
Wow. I'm learning so much and I can't
It's so
wait till
random.
what comes next.
It's so random. It's so random. So I did.
Have you
that.
kept in touch with any of those sumo wrestlers?
No, and I can't remember their names. They were long. They were long names.
Right. Large men, long
Large men.
names.
There was lots going on.
All you need to know.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was fun. I stayed out there. I did that. I really missed the behind the scenes a little bit. The more
Interesting.
I got in front of the camera, the more I just missed doing the research and meeting the people and doing some things that were maybe a little bit more hard hitting. I
Interesting.
covered on some of my other internships and at Michigan, I had covered local politics.
Okay.
I had
wow.
covered some human interest stories.
Okay.
So the surf was fun. The
Right,
sumo
right,
was fun.
right.
The weather was fun. The hamburgers were fun.
A little fluffy though.
But I thought maybe I wanted to go back to producing. So I moved back to Chicago and I started working for a couple local production companies.
Okay.
And I worked my way up to producer, senior producer. I was writing all my own scripts. I was doing all these things. And then in about 2013, 2014, I founded my company. And
Wow.
it's been crazy. It's been
Let's
crazy.
do you mind if we unpack that for a little
Totally,
bit, right? Because
totally.
I think for a lot of folks, and we've had some wonderful guests who've made similar transitions, gone from kind of what we've called W-2 income to 1099, right?
Yes.
And talk about that process, right? And as you're going through it, who are you leaning on? Who
Sure.
are you
Sure.
like, okay, I've seen some things from a distance,
Right.
maybe up close and personal, but talk
Yeah.
about that process.
Sure. So, I mean, right. Before that, I was W-2. I always knew where my paycheck was coming
Exactly.
from. I had also been dabbling a little bit while I was a W-2. This was allowed. And taking on my own clients.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. This was like before side hustles were a thing.
Right.
But this was the true original side hustle.
So interesting.
So I actually was building a small corporate client base.
Ooh, I like that.
I was doing a lot of insurance companies. I was doing a lot of restaurant groups. And I was doing a lot of corporate video or promotional videos. I also knew that I had ideas for my own TV shows. I knew that if I could somehow break into that I would really like to make television shows.
Wow.
Reality, documentary, crime, travel, food. So I had these.
And by the way, you've checked all those boxes. We'll get into that too.
That's happened, yeah. So the business was really started out of this growing client base and this strong desire to make television shows. I knew that if I could fund the television operation or idea with this corporate, that I might have a chance.
Interesting.
Right? So I quit my job. I started the Michael Group, and the Michael Group originally was all corporate video. And I was saving and saving and saving and saving and saving, and eventually I had enough to launch my own show. Now, what does that mean? Right. You don't just launch a show. So, right. So, and that was really scary.
I got a show.
That was really scary. That was really scary.
Oh, as if the other stuff wasn't
No,
scary?
it's all scary.
Right? I mean,
hamburgers aren't.
right.
But
Hamburgers aren't.
surfing's
Sumo,
not.
certainly, right?
Sumo's not scary.
But venturing on your own, right?
It's scary.
Right, absolutely. So
Yeah.
were you leaning on other folks kind of during that process? Or like were you talking to your parents? Or were you talking to family?
my
right?
parents,
like,
yeah, my
okay,
parents.
this is what I'm thinking, right? And we all know, right?
Yeah.
Parents are like, whoa,
Right,
tap the brakes on
totally,
that. You're
totally.
you're doing really well, Michael. Don't
Don't rock the boat.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I had enough saved that I knew that I didn't really need permission from
Nice.
anyone. And I could always fall back on
Absolutely.
just doing the corporate.
Right.
So I took about $50,000 that I had saved and I made this awesome television. I'm going to call it a pilot.
Okay.
Usually you just go out with a sizzle reel, right?
Right,
A 2
right.
to 3 minute.
Right.
But I was like, no,
I'm doing this.
I'm coming on the scene.
Right,
and
I'm coming in hard. Right.
Yeah, go big or go home, right? So
Yes.
it was a barbecue show. And I Jay Glazer was the host
Wow.
of the original concept.
Okay.
And it was called Underground Barbecue Challenge. And it was basically this Fight Club meets barbecue, right? So it was like these people who do underground barbecuing, and we pitted neighborhood against neighborhood to kind of see
Hilarious.
like, who
Right.
who is
Who
the
brings
best,
it.
who's
Right.
the barbecue champ in your neighborhood,
Right.
But we went all over the country. So the pilot was done in Chicago. I took all my money. I put it all into
in.
the pilot.
You literally
I
went all
hired
in.
the best team I could find, right? The best director, the best host. I mean, thank you, Jay.
Right. Shout out to Jay Glazer,
Jay
right?
Glazer. I'm a fan. The best researchers, the best, food prep people.
Right.
And it was awesome. And so I submitted it to Travel Channel.
Okay.
Because I knew that there was a mandate. That's another thing. As when you're going out to sell TV shows, you kind of know what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a really big mandate from Travel Channel that they wanted a food competition show.
Oh,
So
interesting.
the stars
so
aligned.
you had a little inside
I had a
information.
little inside baseball. Like I didn't just come up with Underground Barbecue Challenge. It was
Just
kind
pull
of
this out.
crafted. It was like,
There we go. Right.
where are my odds
Right.
the best?
I
And
like it.
I flew to DC,
Okay.
actually to Maryland, and pitched it in the room, and we landed a $3 million contract. So I was off. It was awesome.
Love that.
It was awesome. And so I was now officially they greenlit 8 episodes of Underground Barbecue Challenge.
Boom.
And the Michael Group TV was
Off and running.
Yeah. So that was awesome.
And was someone still doing corporate, or were you
Me,
just?
yeah.
So you were doing both.
Yes. I was still doing corporate. And the corporate's great. I mean, you talk about these multi-million-dollar contracts, but the corporate was still, it was keeping the lights on.
Right.
It was paying for some of the editing equipment. It
Of
was
course.
still doing it. So
Right.
it was these two, roads.
The yin and yang of
Yeah.
that, right?
Right. So, I mean, that's kind of how the company really got to that
Wow.
next step. We
Right.
were able to get into a space. I was able to hire people. I had a real accountant. It was
These
just-
important.
We were like real.
You were real, and you were truly adulting, right?
I was an adult. I didn't feel like it, but yeah, it was. It
Wait,
was.
it's my name on the
Totally. It was-
masthead, right?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Pretty cool.
It was crazy. Yeah. So that's where it started.
What surprised you, right? So you had this idea that, all right, I'm going to create a TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, first of all, kudos.
Thanks. It was,
Right?
It was the team. It was really my team.
Absolutely. And
It really
and
was.
of course you will
Yes.
say that. And of course it takes a village, right? So you know that it's not just you, and you're bright enough to know that you need other people around, right? Right, truly,
know
right?
that, yes.
But what surprised you
Sure.
along that way? Because I'm sure there were
Yeah.
bumps
Oh,
and
God.
bruises and hills and
God,
valleys,
yeah.
right?
I mean, it was weird, right? I was all of a sudden, we had to get a space, and I'm sitting there with my name on the in the lobby, and there's 5,000 square feet. I'm in the biggest office. There's millions of dollars I'm managing.
Right.
That
Wow.
was that was crazy. I'm almost glad it moved so fast, so that I didn't have a
Chance
have
to
time
really
let
focus.
it sit in, right?
Totally, right.
But it was
Just
it
keep
was-
the energy
it was
going,
adulting.
right?
Yeah, keep the energy going. I knew that I had the people under me that would really gonna help boost it up.
right.
But it was crazy. It was crazy. So
So what? But like, where were some of the hiccups, right, along the way?
okay.
And right when you think like, all right, I'm going to be doing this TV show,
yeah.
but it's not all rosy, right?
No.
And it's so what kind of surprised you?
Sure.
Just
Sure.
you're obviously in neighborhoods. You're dealing with people,
Yes,
right?
right. So you're traveling around every week. Getting the crews. You've got multiple crews out in
Right,
different locations.
right.
So managing the constant influx of problems from each city. Right. This guy didn't show up. He's sick. Managing people was really challenging for me.
Well, that's good because people management is easy now, right?
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was just the bubble, right?
Oh.
People.
People. I would say managing the people is the hardest part. It's like I'd rather just make the show in a bubble, right? But like just all the different personalities.
Right.
I don't know how you feel about
Right.
that, but that's hard.
I'd rather not comment.
It's really hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. So yeah, I mean, there were problems all over the place,
Right.
but that's television,
Absolutely.
right? And that's running, and
Right.
that's doing,
run your own business.
Right.
It's right. It's whatever it might be, right?
You just have to kind of blow through it, do the best you can do.
Right.
You're going to mess up.
Right. But I imagine you brought this to the table. Like
Sometimes.
and I don't see a lot of ups and downs, right? You present and you process and you got your handle on it. So when it's all chaos around,
right,
and they can look at you with,
yes,
we're going to get through this. We've got this, right? We've been training for this,
you
right?
Have to.
And so, I mean, that mindset has to come back through.
It does, right? I mean, inadvertently. I don't think it's anything I'm cognizant of, but yes, I mean, when you're competing, right? You're competing at a level, and you have to have your game face on.
Absolutely.
And you know that all of these things are going to go wrong. Right? You might drop the baton.
Right.
You might hurt yourself.
Right.
You might do so. Right. So, yeah, you got to keep going.
You got to keep going.
And do your best. And really, like, failure is not an option.
Not at all.
Right? Not when you're handling other people's money and you got to deliver to a network. You can't fail.
Right. A lot of folks are counting on you and your team, right? Your team's counting on you.
Sure.
People are counting on you and your team, right? So all of those pieces are real.
Yeah.
Right?
They're real. Right. They're real. There's lawyers. There's lots of people who make sure that it's real.
Right.
So
unfortunately, right? Again, that darn people thing.
Right? God, they keep coming back. So yeah, I mean, we didn't fail, right? The show was delivered on time. It was on budget. I don't think anyone really knew how the sausage got made behind the scenes, right? I definitely went home at night and had panic attacks. I definitely, it wasn't all roses. But it aired, it did well, and we were able to use some of the profit from that show to launch other shows, right?
So
It's called Development. We took a lot of the profit from the company and we developed HGTV shows and true crime shows, and we were so fortunate to get that one break at the time that we did.
You need it, right? And that's the impetus to keep going, right? Yep. And clearly you crushed it, or else you wouldn't have another opportunity, right?
We didn't drop the ball.
You didn't drop the ball, but you provided enough, right?
Sure.
That you hit a mark.
Right.
If you don't hit that mark, you're not getting called back, right? You're not getting another season. You're not right, and you're not given other opportunities.
Right.
If you're dropping the baton, you're not getting the baton passed to you, right?
Totally.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? So that's very real. So
that was very real. Television is a very small world, especially at the network level with, the cable networks at the time.
Right.
It wasn't streaming them, it was cable. So if you mess up a Travel Channel, you bet the people in National Geographic are going to hear about it.
They're going to know, right?
You can't.
It's a small universe, right?
Small universe.
Yeah.
So.
It's a little community that you gotta keep everybody.
It is.
Right?
It's incestuous for sure.
And rarely is that a good thing,
no.
right?
Maybe not the right word. It's a close knit bunch.
It's a close knit bunch, right? No, yeah. We don't need to go further, right? So interesting. So as that's kind of running its course, right? And you're thinking, all right, I had other ideas. I'm sure you're being fed by this, right? You're getting juice from this.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
absolutely. I was flying all over the place. I was pitching to networks. I was meeting with network executives. I was building just my network of people to pitch to. I was also hiring really high-level development people out of New York and LA.
Interesting.
Who wanted to come on board because we were hot for a minute.
Isn't that exciting?
We were hot. Yeah. It's like looking back on it, we were the cool kid for a minute.
What's that like? I've never been a cool kid.
I doubt that. It was cool. I mean, we had agents and we had stuff going on. It was very TV.
Right.
Very TV. Like everything you think is TV. A lot of celebrity stuff. It was cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And did it open a door for you that you were surprised? Like, holy cow, I was just on the Travel Channel and now I'm like, I just left a meeting with X or we're trying to develop Y, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this is pretty amazing, right?
I think the biggest door that opened were the agencies, right? The William Morris, the United Talent.
Wow.
The people that were courting us to come on board.
Right.
And actually thinking that we had good ideas.
Right.
That was...
Because they're not going after you. Right.
That was Hollywood.
Were you walking a little taller? Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think everyone really liked that we were from Chicago.
Interesting.
Right? Because like first of all, we were female owned, right? And
Right.
television is
So male dominated.
It was very male dominated, which is
Absolutely.
something I never think about. But being a female in Chicago, I
Mm-hmm.
think that people thought maybe we had access or a point of view that our New York and LA competitions didn't have, right? LA was very celeb focused
Yep.
or reality kind of these
Sure.
housewife type shows, right? New York was kind of highbrow,
Sure.
true crime.
Right.
What was Chicago? We
Right.
were kind of this hodgepodge of, we could do true crime.
Right.
We've got Cook County.
Right,
Like, you want
exactly.
crime?
Right.
I mean,
Come on down.
I'm going to give you crime, right? Do you want...
Take a number. Right.
Totally. Like, please. Or do you want, something fun?
Right, right.
We had a lot of it.
You had the gamut, right?
Yeah, we had the gamut. So that was cool. And then being female, I mean, I think, maybe I was a little more sensitive or more in tune with, female-dominated stories, but I wouldn't say that it was, people always ask
That
me,
didn't
what's
carry
it?
the day, though.
No, I never
right?
really, sat behind my desk and was like, I'm a woman. What
Exactly.
should I do today? Right?
Helen Reddy, you weren't singing "I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar"?
No, I was not. I was just, doing the thing.
But were you also looking back again, right? Like
Sure.
looking back, do you think, I was really naive to just how
Yes.
this industry was, right?
Yes.
And right? I mean, it's got to be a little bit of had I
was
known,
young.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
You were-
I was in my early 30s,
Right.
and that was young. I had never owned a business, not a real business. So that was just having to be a business owner, an executive, a creative.
right,
At that time, becoming a mom.
right.
Right?
Oh my gosh, right.
Like there was a lot going on.
You were wearing a lot of
There
hats.
was a lot going on, and I think it was better that I didn't think about it too much.
Sure,
Right?
sure.
I would have stopped.
Right. and again, going back to the Ann Arbor days, right? Like,
Right.
did that kick in at all? And again, I think you're right.
does.
It's part of the DNA, right? It's in you. So you know that you just keep going because
Yeah.
that's who you are. That's also how you were trained, right?
training.
So that
Totally.
had to have played a part in I just keep running, right?
I think it does. I think it does more so. We're talking about it, but it's not. Again, it's not something I'm cognizant of. But
No,
yes,
but it's again,
is-
it's just in here. That's
Yeah.
just you're wired that
it
way
is.
now,
It's
right?
like if you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it the best that I can do it,
Right.
Or I'm not going to do it, or sign up for it,
Right.
Or I'm going to try my best,
Exactly,
right? And hopefully
right.
my best is pretty good, right? Because we've operated at a level that
Yes.
is maybe high according to some in certain areas.
In certain areas, right?
certain
and
areas.
again, in certain audiences, and you've also now you've been around the block a few times, right? And you know those audiences, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you know how to frame those conversations
Sure.
and how to frame all of that,
Yep.
right?
Yep. So it's been wild. I mean, after right now we're working on some true crime stuff, which is really interesting, and it's all Chicago-based true
Really?
crime, and it feels good. I cut my teeth on true crime. I when I was producing after Hawaii, I was working on cold case files and investigative
Really?
reports and American Justice.
Okay.
With
Oh,
Bill
wow.
Curtis.
Right, right.
I don't know. God.
Bill
Hi,
Curtis. How about it? Shout out
God,
to Bill
Bill,
Curtis.
how many episodes
right?
did we do? I don't know. I must have done over 24.
Seriously?
So I did all murder and crime
Right.
and bad stuff. So
Right.
and then I did
Those are fascinating, right? So
fascinating.
I'm trying to think. It feels like that Bill Curtis was kind of cutting edge on that,
Yeah.
right? Like
he was the master.
right, and
He is the master.
he is the master,
Yep.
and just the gravitas that he brings, right? Talk a little bit about that.
Oh my God. Well, so first of all, I'm not just saying this. He is the nicest man.
Is he?
He is the nicest
I love
man.
hearing that,
He
right?
deserves every accolade that he has. He's professional. He's wonderful. I think my best story about Bill is you never meet the guy when you're just starting out until you get to the voiceover booth.
Oh,
Right?
interesting.
So you've been working behind the scenes, crafting this story,
Right,
doing all
right.
these interviews, going in the field, writing the script, and then it's fact checked and it's ready to be recorded. So it's sort of like the Wizard of Oz,
Oh,
right?
my gosh.
You go into this
the
audio
man behind the
booth
curtain, right?
and you just sit there and is this thing on?
Right.
And you're like, "Hi, Bill, it's Michael Weber. I'm producing your episode today." And he just says, hello, Michael. And it is just like your whole world comes full circle.
You're
like,
you got to chill.
Bill Curtis.
Right, exactly.
And I'm here and he's reading my script, and then he's funny. He's funny when he does it and he's just great. So, yeah, I mean, sorry, my shoe.
Right.
Yeah, that's my Bill Curtis moment. He's just,
awesome.
He's wonderful. He's
right.
wonderful.
But he was, again, those true crime. Now it's quote unquote everywhere, right? And podcasts, video, right? TV series, everything.
Yep.
But that seems
to
be kind of the kickoff to that.
It's very much the original, right? Bill and Cold Case Files and American Justice.
Right.
That show was on forever. American Justice, I think, is still actually being played. There are late nights where I can catch some of my shows.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to age myself, but this was over a decade ago. And it's
look who you're sitting next to. All right, you're
stop. So
I present and I am old. So there we go.
You don't. But yeah, he was the original true crime guy, right?
So interesting.
Yeah.
Like that origin story. Did you ever kind of dig into why, how, what prompted that?
For me getting into it?
For him and then for you, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he was on WBBM,
right? Exactly,
so
right.
He and
Walter Jacobson,
yes,
right?
they were
the team, right?
Yeah, amazing. And then he started Curtis Productions, right?
Yeah.
That was the offshoot of that. And then I think he just, he's got the voice.
He does.
To do the serious stuff, right?
Can we get him to do an intro?
Oh my God. Is that an auction item?
Ooh, I like that. We'll get into that, right?
And so, yeah, I mean, I think he created American Justice and Cold Case Files.
Right.
I think his production company did do it. I was just brought in later.
He caught lightning in a bottle there, right? He saw something. And again, having the experience, boots on the ground in Chicago, CBS 2.
Right.
So kind of fun. We just, we had Rob Johnson as one of our guests, right? And so we got a little CBS 2 theme going. Yep. So Rob was awesome, and Bill, he set the bar, right? He and Walter Jacobson back in the day. I'm dating myself.
It was cool, right? Because I think having worked with Bill for so long, the integrity in his storytelling, right? I mean, fact checking. When we were fact checking, it wasn't just 2 primary sources. It was 5 primary sources plus a double check on that. Like you had, and it was every word. It wasn't just. It wasn't
just the idea. He needed everything locked in.
I would think in 2 sentences you might have 10 facts that need to be checked.
Wow.
And so just having been trained like that was good training.
Right.
Yeah,
and again, you came out with a journalism degree. So that carries the day, but then the real life, like this is how this gets implemented. Right, I'm sure you're like, oh, that's why that class, that's why that professor did, right?
Sense now. Oh, yeah. And I think I also
interesting.
I learned from these other production companies that I was working for what a production company looked like.
Oh,
right. I think that I was I was doing the work and making the shows, but I was also watching the business side of it. How
Very
were they
intentional.
doing? How were they managing the schedules? How were they bringing in the money and making it last? I was very interested in that, which I think helped me, having worked under those companies, to launch the Michael Group and say, okay, I've seen this before.
Exactly.
I've never done it,
but I've been.
And then I've hired people under me who have done it.
Well, sure,
so,
exactly, because again, you're smart enough to know. Let's bring people in, right?
Yeah.
And the death knell is thinking yourself as the smartest one in the room, and none of us are, right? Totally. But unfortunately, some folks think they are, right? And if you think you can do it alone, you're not going to be doing very long.
You are wrong. No, hire people better than you, way better than you.
Way better than you, right? I'd much rather be surrounded by smart people.
100%.
Right?
100%.
So that's why you're here, right?
Oh, God, please.
Right? And the folks on that side of the camera.
This is all about you.
Oh, no, not at all. Nobody wants to hear about me, right?
I do. I do. Don't
say that. That's another time. But this is awesome. So you're doing the true crime, and
so we're doing the true crime now, and we're doing. I still have my corporate business.
Right.
I am the TV market right now. Right, the traditional cable market that I was pitching and selling to. It's changed a lot. Right. I mean, you mentioned podcasts.
Right.
And it is a different landscape right now. I can't just go and sell a 12-part series to a
Who do you
certain
sell it
network.
to?
Right, exactly. I mean, now we're pitching Netflix, Hulu, Apple. And it's different. It's different.
Is it better or
Well,
to be determined?
it's different. When we were pitching cable networks, the Discoveries, the HGTV is under
part of that, but
A&E,
still,
those
right,
guys.
yeah.
You had, like I said, you had mandates. Our agents would give us packets every week that said, these are the top-rated shows. These are what they're looking for. This is what they're not looking for. Now you get that from the streaming networks, right?
Okay, sure.
But anything goes. Like, it's more of the Wild West.
Interesting.
And it's harder.
Is that good?
I don't know. I don't know yet. It's TBD. But I've also been branching out to podcasts. Now I've got friends in LA who used to be the best true crime producers. They're just doing podcasts. Because they can get away with more on the podcast. They can cover more ground. They don't have sort of the network police on that.
Right.
So it's definitely, you can make a lot of money in podcasts.
Interesting.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. I have a friend that just made more money than she's ever made in her life on a
Holy
true
cow.
crime podcast. It's not even one of the top ones.
Wow.
She a lot of these producers are just doing a lot better now.
Right.
In other areas.
I mean, that's great, right? That there are mediums that can be leveraged, right?
Yep.
And clearly there's an audience for it, right?
There is. A lot of times you're up against a network executive that has their own feelings on what they think a good show would be.
Right.
And it's just not what you think it would be. And you're either forced to make that show or take your show and put it into that
kind of jerry-rig it into something,
but in a
right?
podcast, just make your show and hope that you get viewers.
Right.
And tell the stories like you want. The people will find you. I have a TV concept right now that takes place in the 60s and 70s, right? It's true crime in Chicago from the 60s and 70s. And we believe that the perpetrators are still alive and we want to catch them. I had a network executive tell me the other day, it's too old. It's too old. Really? It's too old. Okay, yeah, nobody really cares about things in the 60s and 70s. Okay, well, this person was 32.
Exactly.
Right. And that's fine, but that's not true.
Right.
That is not true.
Right.
So I, am going to take that and try it as a podcast for a minute because I think you guys would listen to us try to catch a killer from the 60s.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like anything I don't think people would be interested in. So in that regard, it's kind of nice to have all these new mediums, right?
Right.
Especially at my age and having done this for 25 years, right? It's annoying to hear from someone who's younger than me that just broke into the business.
Who do you think you are?
Like, you might be right, you might be wrong, but I'm frustrated. So
this is my idea. I'm going to do this.
I think it's gonna work.
Exactly.
I think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
So
fascinating.
It's a different landscape out there, right?
It is. For sure. It is. For sure. Right. And hopefully, in a good way. And again, TBD to your point. But if it kind of brings folks to the table, right? And creates new opportunities for people, right? I think there should be value in that.
I think so too. And I think, just because people aren't watching, your station doesn't mean they're not interested in hearing all of these things and all of these stories.
Right. Exactly. So, and hopefully, folks and you included in your team, you also have lived experiences and networks that you're part of that that this is interesting for segments of our communities, right?
And there's a way to tell it, right? There's a way to craft the story that it's engaging, even though it's from the 1960s and you might not really care about what was happening, politically at that time.
Right.
It's irrelevant. It's a story.
It's a
human story. And there's somebody that can go get busted for doing some bad things. Who doesn't like that?
Right, exactly. And who thought they were probably past it, right? Yeah. Like they're out of... They're okay, right?
Yeah, they're okay.
But
you're not okay.
You're not okay. You're a bad person, right? So watch out. Michael's coming for you, right? You know who you are, right?
They know who they are. They do. So yeah.
So interesting, right?
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So you're dabbling in those areas, right?
So I'm doing that. Yep. Our corporate business is still really strong. We've got clients that we've had since day one.
It's amazing.
That
Congrats.
too, you can't mess
right?
up.
No, you can't.
You can't. Those are actually the most important.
Right. And also, let's be honest, quite a testament and feather in your cap, because if if it wasn't going well,
There's so much
they'd be the
competition.
first ones exactly to
100%.
shoot you off and go to the next
There
next
are
hot person, right?
video
That's coming,
production
right?
companies
Exactly, right.
everywhere.
And and do you feel, has it gotten to be a bit commoditized? Like, or
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good question. Right now, you can go have a video edited on Upstart or some sort of freelance network, and they're going to say, we're going to edit your hour-long video for $200. You get unlimited revisions, and you send it off, and it comes back. Okay, that's very different from some of the editors that I work with who are charging $600 to $1,500 a day, who are true storytellers,
Right.
who are really working on that. So it's like, yeah, could those $200 guys do what my guys do? I don't know. But
Right.
it's definitely becoming there,
Right.
It's like you can just go send your podcast out to go be edited, right? Back in the day, even 5 years ago, you would have to hire a real editor.
Right.
Like, I mean, and not
a
that
sound
these
editor,
guys aren't
right.
real,
No, right.
but-
I know what you mean, right?
Yeah. So it is a little bit commoditized. It's homogenized. It's a lot of things.
Right.
But-
So how do you keep standing out? Like,
Sure.
how are you able to keep being on the
think it's-
forefront of that?
I think it's client relations, right? Just kind of like you guys here and how you choose your vendors or who you choose to work with. It's client relationships. It's trust.
It's this,
yeah,
right?
it's the human
Being
touch.
able to- right.
It's also knowing that with a certain amount of experience, I can probably get it done faster and less expensive in the long run.
Right.
Because I'm not making mistakes and I'm not doing things I don't need to be doing.
And by the way, you'll add value along the way also.
Hopefully.
Well,
Right.
you will,
I mean,
right? I mean,
right.
that's what you're bringing to the table. That's
I
one
hope
of the
so.
many things, right?
I hope so. So, I mean, I think the human touch, right? It's like AI.
Right.
You still need the human touch.
You still do,
Even though there's
right?
a lot of stuff out there that you can get, doesn't make it right.
No.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm glad you brought up AI because I think certainly for your corporate clients, right? Huge component, right, of their work and I was really intrigued on your website the idea that you're doing more and more training, right? And so talk a little bit about how AI is influencing that as well as other pieces of your business. But
Sure.
but I was really intrigued that, you know what, we got to keep upskilling our
do.
folks, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, AI has changed the business a lot, right? Back in the day, and I don't want to say back in the day, I would say 3 years ago.
Not exactly.
3 years,
right.
maybe 2 years ago, right? We would have to, let's say I came up with a TV concept or a corporate video concept. I would have to hire a person who specializes in television development. They would have to sit for a week. They would have to write a proper pitch or a proper corporate brief, what's it going to look like? What's it going to sound like? What kind of visual tools are we going to use? Who are we going to interview? Blah, blah, blah. I can type that into ChatGPT right now.
Right.
I can make an entire series. I've tried it. Believe me, I've tried it. That person,
Did it worry you? Did it?
It worried me because it was really good.
Was it?
It was like better than I could have thought of. So I was like, oh
Well,
man.
that just means you. That's you because you put in a really good prompt, right? So
I don't know.
what I've learned is it's all about the prompts, right?
I wonder now if I were to say, underground barbecue show, if it was just boom, and I wasted all that time and money, right? That would suck.
That would be fun, and you'll see your name being quoted,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, wait, I know that
Did
person.
I train
right?
it? Totally. So like those people.
That's my concept.
Yeah, like those people, those development people.
Amazing, right?
I
But
mean-
what's happening to them?
I hate to say it. They're good to be brought in after that whole thing.
Right.
It could be done.
Right.
To touch it and to shape it a little bit.
Right.
Catch some mistakes, but I hate to say it, but you don't need them anymore like you used to.
That's really
And the
interesting.
editing is different now too.
Is
I
it?
mean, these machines can edit.
Really?
You can prompt them to put a dissolve here. Now you still need the human touch for
Sure.
the beats
For-
and
right.
the sound ups and the tone and the rhythm, right? But you can get really far.
Wow.
So yeah, I think it's interesting. You still need good storytellers.
Sure.
You'll
right.
always need good storytellers.
Good story and a good storyteller,
Yeah,
right? And a compelling why, right?
Yes. But I think the function of TV producers and editors has changed. I think we get to where we need to be faster with AI.
Interesting.
And then we're needed really on the back end to kind of make it gold. But it's
Wow.
different.
Right. I mean, you're going to have to be nimble in
I don't know
the
what
coming
I'm gonna
years,
do
right?
next.
But I mean that you've created, enough content over time
Sure.
and to be able to point to, right?
Right.
But kind of where it goes from there is
I
going to
don't
be, right? It could be tricky. It's going to be an
crazy.
interesting journey,
And
right?
production managers, the people who do the budgets, you can just ask for a TV budget. It's right there. And now
Boom.
we're hearing all this software
Right.
stuff that we're, the
Yep.
stocks market
Exactly,
last week,
right.
right? I mean, it's just ever changing. And I think like any business, you just have to stay on top of it.
Right.
But
You can't go into a shell,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
We have to meet it head on, right? And yeah, there's no hiding from it.
There's
So
no
so
hiding.
let's embrace it,
Yeah.
right? And how do we get out in front of it?
Yeah.
And I think that's on the it's fascinating on the production side, but then also on the corporate side,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the training and I was really intrigued by if you don't mind kind of unpacking the idea of I'm watching a video, right? A module, and there's an AI influence that is going to help kind of point me in a direction or do an assessment to say, okay,
Sure.
RJ needs a little bit more of this.
Right.
He needs a little bit
Right,
more
right.
to beef it
Yeah.
up, right? So
yeah, and I actually didn't write that article on my website. So thank you to Connecticut,
Right.
my
There we go.
SEO team. You clearly are doing
shout
a
out to
very
the
good
blog on the Michael Group.
But yeah, I mean, we're doing an insurance module right now on annual enrollment, right? And it does that. It sort of can figure out where you're clicking and what you're looking at and how long you're
Amazing.
staying on pages, and it can kind of guide you. And so we'll make this whole video that basically, you could watch for 3 hours, but then we're putting prompts in to click through based on the data that we're getting from how people at the company are watching the videos and what they're really looking for, if that kind of makes sense. So, I mean, it's
Absolutely.
tracking you,
Wow.
which is weird.
It's a little
Right?
big brother.
And
right?
budgets from clients and networks are shrinking because they know you don't need that.
Right. You
that
don't
time.
need 3 weeks of development, right?
Right.
You can do that in 4
Totally.
days.
So what
right?
used to be $500,000 to create something, there's can you make it for 200?
Wow.
And you're
so
saying,
just
well,
like
no.
that. Like
Oh,
boom.
it's in half. Yeah,
Wow.
easily.
Wow.
So it's
You've got to be creative.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what's next. Let's start a podcast.
There we go. Yeah, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it, right?
Let's make a podcast.
It's like the old days. Let's put on a show. Let's just do a
put on a show.
podcast,
Let's
right?
just talk.
Exactly. Right. I love it. So I alluded to this earlier, right? That it feels like you have more hours in the week, right? And this has come up periodically in these conversations. There are 168 hours in a week, right?
Are there?
And I think my math is right. And just hearing you today and knowing you for the time that I have, you get a lot done in your time, right? And so how do you do it? Like
Sure.
what feeds you? Obviously, your work feeds you, right? And you gain energy from that. You get juice from that,
Sure.
and clearly, and you're really good at it.
Yeah.
But what else feeds you?
I think it's not letting people down, right? I think that I'm in a career where I'm forward facing, and there's a lot of people that need me to show up in some sort of way and deliver something in some sort of way. And that goes for my kids too, right? And my family, and,
Right.
my friends. It's just, I think when you have to do things, right?
Right,
You
right.
just have to do them. Like, what am I going to do? Sit in bed, right? I have to do these things. Like,
Right,
you
right.
need them from me.
There's no other option, right?
Totally. So like, right. I think it's just getting it done. I don't like to let people down. I don't
Interesting.
like-
And was that? I mean, looking back and growing up, was that like?
No.
Were your role models? No, right? Like,
No, I don't know where that came from. I think it might have come from the running.
Right.
It might have come from being a good student because I had to.
Right.
It might have come from just growing the company really fast. And also, right, when you talk about Hawaii and me being out there and wanting to be back behind the camera,
Right.
I like people facing. I like working with people. I like telling people stories. I like doing a good job.
Right.
It makes me feel better.
Sure.
Right?
Right. I mean, we all feel good about
You all
that,
feel good
right?
when you
Right.
do something, right? So I mean, I think it's just not wanting to let anyone down, and not because I'm insecure or because
No.
I'm sitting around like
Right,
this,
right.
but I just I like to do a
You like to do a good
for
job.
people. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Right. And that's energizing, right? That certainly gives gives people juice, right? And so, you know, that's important food, right? And we need to know kind of those pieces and how we're impacted by that, because that's how we in turn impact others, right?
And I think I care about it.
Right.
I care, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm on the board because I care. I'm
Right.
affected by it.
Right.
I'm, telling the stories I do in television because I really do care. Like you would think I wouldn't care about a barbecue competition,
No.
but I do because we're representing Brooklyn, we're representing
Yeah.
neighborhoods, and it's fun. Or, I care. I care about solving these crimes.
Right.
I care about the things that I'm wrapping my head around.
Right. Right.
I care about insurance module videos, right? Why? Because it's important that you sign up for annual enrollment, and it's really confusing. But also, I like the client.
It is
fun to
well,
work with them.
right, but that's also good, right? But it's a means to an end. You know, one of our guests was our insurance broker, right? And Sean Dauber, phenomenal guy, and he was laughing like, I just sell insurance, right? Like, why would you want me? But we learned so much, and some of those shorts, if you haven't watched them yet, go back to our YouTube channel. Sean Dauber crushed it, right? And we're all learning, right? And this is, it may not be, exciting and sexy, but gosh darn it, we all need it, right? And so, don't downplay that piece of it too.
And there's also a lot of things I pass on because I don't care.
Which is great.
Don't think I'm like some altruistic person sitting there like,
yes.
I'm going to break important things and do them well. No, there's like a majority. I would say most things I'm just like, I don't care. You don't want me to help you with this because it's not going to go well. Right?
Well, because you're not, exactly. You're not wired for it, right? Yeah. That's fascinating. That is so good. So I'm glad that you brought up the fact that, you're on our board here at Oak Leyden, and we are very grateful for that. And it's, I want to kind of dive a little bit into that, right? Sure. And just getting to know you, this conversation, it just continues to plant. Like, how fortunate are we? How did we get you to say yes? Actually, you didn't even say yes. You said, you know what, I would like to be on your board, right? And we don't. By the way, we don't get that a lot.
Really?
People aren't clamoring to be part of this.
I think it's awesome.
Well, that's awesome, right?
I care.
Right, you are, and clearly this is not your first rodeo either, right?
Sure.
So you've done this before because you jumped in and you hosted a meet and greet in your home, right? And you're chairing our big event, right? Mighty Oak, April 23rd. Be there. It's going to be fun. And yes, it will. We're riding her coattails. So there you go. So, but help me understand it. And obviously, you have some family, right?
Sure,
and that you're predisposed to the individuals that we support. So
sure. So I come from a hugely philanthropic family. My mom and my dad, who are still married, live in the same house I grew up in.
Love it.
My bedroom still looks the same.
Is it a shrine?
Which, by the way, I like to go back and visit because I feel like it's my safe space.
Right. Is it a shrine to you? Are the medals on the wall? Right.
Let's not talk about what's in the bedroom.
Let's try to get a picture as we're going through this of that.
It's like a ballet shoe. It's like random stuff. So they both worked, right, their whole lives, self-made in a lot of ways. But they were also hugely involved in charities, everything from cancer to early childhood education. I mean, I just grew up in it. I grew up in it. And it was really important to my father to always give back. I mean, it was a thing at the end of the year. We had to make a list of our charities, right? A list of our charities and allocate what we were
Kudos to the Weber
them.
clan.
Well, they're good people.
Right.
So that was instilled in my brother and I from day one. Then I've been on a million boards, things I care about. I've also passed on things I don't care about. Not don't care, but that I didn't think I'd do very well. So that's, I think, the basis for, why I do it.
Right.
I do have a family member who's been affected by an intellectual disability. And so I've seen how difficult that world can be in terms of access to early intervention. I've also seen how much of an impact early intervention has had on some of these kids and how imperative it is. I don't want any families to ever feel scared or alone, right? So the work that Oak Leyden does is incredibly important to me And then, as kids grow out of their education and, as adults, they need places. It's just really important. It's important to have everybody find a place to land that works. And so this is something that, it's got my 100% interest.
Thank you.
I'm going for
Right.
it.
You're in. And again, we are grateful and blessed to have you on the team and
you.
just very fortunate. So thank you for being
Thank you.
with us, right?
This was so fun.
This is just really good stuff. And we've got a lot that that is coming and just really grateful to have you just running with us, right?
Thank you. It's been fantastic. I hope to stay for a long time.
You're in. I'm going to get that in writing once we
Yes.
go off camera here. So again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What an interesting, delightful journey, and just I love this conversation and just hearing more about kind of the impact that you're making. It's really wonderful. So thank you again, Michael Weber, the Michael Group. And keep an eye out for true crime podcasts about the 60s and 70s crimes in Chicago. Imagine there were crimes happening back then, right? So again, thank you for joining us, everyone, all of our viewers. Like us, comment here in LinkedIn. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Intersection by Oak Leyden. And kudos to our guest, Michael Weber. Thank you so much.
Thank you.